Okay, so this is an overview for the Dudley residents of the existing Dudley Fire Station. As you may or may not know, we've been working on a project to build a new fire station, which is long overdue. I'm not going to get too in-depth into the current project because that will be a later presentation at a selectmen's meeting. I just wanted people to realize how bad a shape this building was in and why we need replacement. As you may or may not know, the building was built in 1960. Here's a vintage photo of when the building was first erected. We're going to be taking you through the building and showing some points of the building and replacement needs. Just shut it off. So this is the bay. One of the problems in the bay is very tight space. The apparatus has gotten bigger over the years. Some of the apparatus is in need of replacement. Some is a little newer. We've gotten some vehicles off grants. Some vehicles have been paid for by the town's people. As you can see, we have a real tight space here between the engine and the wall. The only operational bathroom in the building is this way. Which you have to walk between the truck and the exhaust hose. And here is our bathroom, which is not ADA compliant. The department has grown in numbers since it was first inducted in the 60s. We now run 2 ALS ambulances. We have staffing around the clock. So we have outgrown this building. As you can see, the bathroom is very small and not ADA compliant. If somebody wanted to get in here and was handicapped, they wouldn't be able to. This is our shower room, which was just recently installed. Before, we didn't have any shower. We did this on our own. People volunteered their time to install this. We did pay for some materials, but it was an additional bathroom, but we needed a shower stall to clean up if we had to go out on any calls. So that was just recently added. Still not sufficient for the number of people in the building. As you can see, the space between the trucks is really tight. If you want to swing around this way, show that. The trucks also face in different directions, which is not conducive to safety when you're pulling out. You've got apparatus pulling out in different directions. 4 bays are facing West Main Street, and you've got 2 bays facing Mason Road. This will really get you a good idea of how tight it is here. You can barely fit one person through this spot. Just a little more of the garage area. We have some ceiling damage over here that's been here for quite some time now, up towards the front of the bay. That's from ice dams, which we have tried to remove time and time again. That's a minor problem. You know that could be fixed on any building. Also, just to make a point, this signboard, particular signboard here, along with trailers that are outside the building, are left outside. These are regional assets that were all gained off of grants. It would be good if we could keep those things inside. That being said, if we are successful with the new fire station, those trailers and regional assets would be able to be stored in this building as a storage facility. So they'd be out of the weather and they would last much longer. Fred's just going to walk around and show you some more of the station with how tight it is in here. And we've recently looked to acquire new equipment, but we've also recently looked to downsize the fleet. We recently received a grant for a new forestry quick attack truck, and we got rid of 2 vehicles and replaced it with the 1 new one. So even with downsizing, we're having trouble fitting vehicles in here. Initially in 1960, this was a 1-story facility, and as we walk through the building, we'll show you the additions that were put on. One of the additions was this bay that we're walking into now, which has an unfinished 2nd floor. This is what we call the forestry bay. It was added along with the stall behind us in, I believe, 1983, somewhere in that vicinity. This part of the building is kind of currently settling and falling off the other part of the building, and I'll take you outside and show you that in a little while. Can you shut it off for a second? Okay, continuing on, one other point I wanted to make is the door heights. And I don't know if you can get it up there, but 9 foot 10 inches, which is very low to today's standards for trucks. And I just wanted to point something out on our ladder truck. If you come around here, and I know we just got this ladder within the last year. The knuckle of this ladder is 1.5 inches from the top of the door on a regular dry day, so this truck just barely fits in here. New station would provide 14-foot doors with full-size bays, which would eliminate all of these problems. Back in 1960, the trucks were a lot smaller. They were easily fit in the building, not so much nowadays. In 1983, they added the 2nd floor. It was the Bay Path students that added the 2nd floor. This is the only interior access to the upstairs. There's no elevator. Again, not ADA compliant to current standards. So this is the 2nd floor. It has a training room, a kitchen, a room that we made into sleeping quarters, and it has no functional bathroom or showers up here. And it is not. The study we did over the last 3 years determined that we were unable to put showers and a bathroom up here because of the way the water is positioned from the street. Plus, it was determined during our study that it would cost too much money to bring this building up to standard, to current building codes. It would actually cost more money and not get us what we wanted for a station that would last 75 years. Also, there's protected wetlands behind here, which kind of limits us at what we can do. So this is our training room. This is probably the best room in the building. The only issue we have is there's no natural light into this room, and there is some mold issues in the walls in this building, in this particular room, because of the fact that there's no natural light or windows from the outside. I know you can see a window over there, but that's a separate office over there. So we'll just walk through and have you have a look at it. This is just another room that we finished on our own. We actually, again, we bought some supplies, but my department members volunteered their time to finish this room at no cost to the town, just to get us through until we could get the new building. This is the space above those bays that were added on in 1983. As you can see, it's not finished. We use it for storage space right now. This was also part of the Bay Path project in 1983. But this is the part of the building that is settling a little bit. It kind of looks, if you're driving by, and you'll be able to see it on the outside, that it's kind of fallen off the rest of the building a little bit. I don't know initially what they had for intentions for this side of the building, but right now it's just used for storage. And we're probably hopefully we will acquire the new building, so we don't have any future plans to do anything with this right at the moment. So more storage space here that's unfinished. We got some void spaces in here. We just store radios and we store gear in here. And just to show you kind of what we're dealing with. Camera will be able to see this, but this is basically just another unfinished dormer that we store our gear in. No heat or AC in here. I don't know if the camera will get that.
A little dark.
So this is our kitchen. This isn't half bad either, but in need of upgrading. As you can see, we have our weight equipment in our kitchen, and we eat in our kitchen, and we have our TV room in the kitchen. It's kind of all crammed into one area. The only other egress off the second floor other than the staircase we came up is the staircase over in the corner here. This goes to an outside staircase. And there you go. Really not appropriate egress for people sleeping in the building, although we make do with what we have. People need to keep in mind that this building was built when people weren't in the station 24 hours a day. One more section on the second floor is the office space. There's an outer office, which is kind of like a conference room, and my office, which is in the back. Just film this side. right, so this is our downstairs office space where all the day-to-day work is conducted. Again, very tight quarters, outside office, backup dispatch area, and the back captain's office. Which is pretty tight. And just to let people know, we get used chairs to replace our office chairs when they break. So we get them donated to us to try and save some money. Also, a point to note is the building's very inefficient. It's very expensive to heat it, and the electricity is high due to the oldness of the building. It's got the concrete block that costs a real lot of money to heat. A new building would also cut down on those costs. So this is the outside of the building. I'm sure everybody knows what the outside of the building looks like. Probably drives by it quite often. You see the 1960 sign there. Careful on the ice. I'm just going to have you come around. If you want to cut it, I don't know if you want to cut it or show the building. I want them to see this end bay. Back on.
Yep.
All right, so this is what I was talking about earlier, the sand bay that was added on. If you walk around to the side here, see it's in kind of tough shape. All right, what we're looking at now are these trailers that I mentioned inside. They're stored outside because there's no room for them. There's a signboard. You saw the other signboard inside. There's also a light tower. There's the Mass Public Health trailer, and there's the shelter trailer, which have all been utilized in this town during bad storms. You may or may not recall the shelter trailer was used for the shelter set up at the middle school during the October snowstorm a couple years. These trailers are really taking a beating being outside. If we are successful in getting the new station, again, this could be used as a storage facility. The Highway Department also received a grant for a debris clearing trailer that they leave outside that was recently acquired, and they would also be able to store that inside, which really increases the life of these trailers. That's a water buffalo, which has been used on 3 or 4 occasions during water emergencies when E. coli has been reported in the water. That's another regional asset. As you can see, it's buried under snow right now. And all those things would be able to be kept inside. Kind of got some issues with the wood rotting away a little bit. So like I said, we've been working on this project for the last 3 years to replace the firehouse. It's the only town building in town that hasn't been replaced at least once. This is the original fire building. It's had many upgrades to it, and it's pretty much outlived its useful life as a fire station. Like I said, it could be used as a storage facility in the future for all the town departments, such as highway, police, fire. I'd just like to take a moment to thank the building committee for their hard work over the last 3 years, and that is my presentation.